Hey, what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope-A-Dope Report. I'm your host, Chris Carlson. Make sure you check out Rope-A-Dope Radio in the 12th and final round. Actually, the 12th and final round has a post-fight show going on this weekend after all the fights. Got a bunch of fights this weekend. Anyway, this is for the Miguel Cotto versus Yuri Foreman fight. Cotto was coming off a loss to Pacquiao. We don't know how much he has in the tank left. After he got the beatdown from Margarito, he did take a pretty nice break, considering Cotto's fight schedule there for a while. He was a very active fighter. So he got a break there, but then, you know, he fought, I believe, in February-ish, and then fought in June. I mean, it was pretty much a sparring session in February, but then he fought last June with Clottey. Basically almost a year ago, and then we all know, you know, that was a tight fight. Could have went either way. I did think Clottey pulled it off, but it was a tight fight, and Clottey didn't attack. And when you have the champion and a champion that's in his hometown, you have to attack. So then, you know, he got beat down. He fought well the first 4 rounds, even though he had gotten knocked down. Cotto did against Pacquiao. He fought very well, but then, you know, Pacquiao just turned it on and pretty much dominated the fight, or did dominate the fight. So we don't know exactly where Cotto is in his career. And it's kind of sad because of a lot of the damage was done by Margarito. Sorry, I'm watching this Boston-Cleveland game. So it's kind of sad, you know, and he's a young guy, really, if you think about it. I think he's like 30 years old, 29 years old. He just, you know, he's shop worn, man. It's tough to know exactly where he is, okay? But he's still a skilled fighter. He still can go to the body. He still throws good combinations. He's got good hand speed, and of course, he's got that world-class jab. Ooh, sorry. Got that world-class jab. And he's still a pretty smart fighter. He's, you know, he's a good fighter, world-class fighter. There's no doubt about it. But we just don't know how much is left. Yuri Foreman now, he's a guy that can move, and he has okay hand speed. He doesn't have a lot of power. He's coming off a big win over Daniel Santos, and it's tough to take a lot out of that fight. He did knock Santos down, I believe twice. Excuse me. But it's one of those things where you just don't know, because Santos had been laid off for a while. He hadn't been in a big fight for a long time, and he looked out of shape. You know, he had the pudge going on the sides. He just didn't look there. Not only that, but Santos is not necessarily a come-forward fighter, and that's not his style totally. He's a guy that likes to keep it in the middle of the ring, or a perfect opponent for him is like a Margarito that comes to him, and you could see he had a lot of skill during that fight as well. So I think coming forward off of him, it's not necessarily a good fight. So it's tough to say. Yuri Foreman is a skilled fighter. Like I said, he can box, he can move. That is his game. Stick and move, doing stuff on the outer edge of the pocket. He had a good amateur career. He's a good fighter. Good fighter. You know, I wouldn't even have a question about this fight. I would have made this video a long time ago. I've just been kind of busy lately. Haven't been able to do as many videos as I'd like. But I would, if Cotto was even close to 100%, I would say it's hands down. You know, maybe this fight wouldn't even be happening right now if he was. But since he's depleted somewhat, and we don't know exactly, I know Emmanuel Stewart's in his camp. That's going to help. It's going to be an upgrade in his camp and strategy, that's for sure. And in-fight advice, that's for sure. But this would be a pretty easy pick for me, but I'm still going to go with Cotto. I think the jab is going to be the difference. I think his combos, his body work. You know, Cotto is a good come-forward fighter, but he does it behind a jab, and he sets up a lot of his shots. So I think it's going to be a good fight, though, because Cotto's always in a good fight. He's not really ever in a boring fight, you know what I mean? So I am going to go with Cotto, although I'm going to give Yuri Foreman some credit. I think he'll make it. I think he's skilled enough. I think he has enough of a background in his amateur career, and, you know, he's had 29 or 28 fights now. I think 29 fights. So I just don't know if he has the power to keep Cotto off him. And I think the best way to deal with Cotto is come at him and be aggressive. Clottey at times could have been a lot more aggressive when he was on the rope. Margarito was aggressive. Shane Mosley was aggressive and made him be on the move the last 3 rounds of that fight. So you really got to take the fight to him unless you are just a high class like a Mayweather where you can move around the ring, counter, and do all that great stuff with hand speed. And I just don't know if Yuri Foreman is on, no one's on the level of a boxer type fighter like Floyd Mayweather, but I'm not sure if he's on a high enough level to keep Cotto honest and to keep him off him. I just think he's going to outwork him, and I think that jab is going to be key. I think that's going to be a problem for Yuri Foreman. So I'm going to go with Miguel Cotto for a decision. Peace.